Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to the final round of the Formula 3 PNR Championship Season 2, hosted on the World Sim Series website. My name is Anders, and I'll be your host for this evening's events. I hope you're all doing well and you've had a good week off, or a good week. Sorry, I've had a good week off. Righto, I've not had to go to work this week. Been looking after and sorting out the wee man's bedroom, which is quite nice. But yes, as I mentioned, it's the final round today of the Formula 3 Championship Season 2 before we go for a little spring break to make sure which direction we want to take PNR in future sort of events. Before we go trackside, let's take a look at the standings, because it's between three people that could win the championship this evening. Van der Hoeven leads the way with 152 points, and Butler and Skyring joint second with 133. If Van der Hoeven finishes P6 and above, which in all fairness with the driver count that we got tonight, which is only 9, is looking quite likely they will win the championship. But Butler and Skyring will need to win regardless if they want to win the championship this evening. So let's go trackside. They're currently in free practice, and we'll see how they are getting on. And here we are trackside. Butler's just gone into the pit road, and Butler is leading the way. Van der Hoeven's yet to set a lap time here for free practice, but here is our championship leader, PNR Formula 3 Season 2 Championship. And we'll have to wait and see if they can get the job done this evening, and early signs are looking good for Van der Hoeven. Now Van der Hoeven has made a few in-race mistakes of late, so hopefully that won't be going against him too much. So I'm just going to turn down the in-game volume a little bit. I've got the audio up in-game. Hopefully that should be a little bit nicer on the ears. Here we are at Miami. We've never hosted an event here in the PNR, and you can see that it's the Formula 1 port layout. There's the DRS zone, and we'll have to wait and see how our drivers do this evening. But Van der Hoeven is in the driver's seat. They only need to finish, like I said, P6 and above, and we've only got, well, 8 drivers. So unless they have a terrible session, it's looking very, very likely that they'll win the championship. So there is no track recce today or tomorrow. I just haven't had time to get one done. So we'll stay on board with our championship leader, Van der Hoeven, and we'll take a full look at the Miami circuit as we come round the final 2 corners to start our flying lap. Left and right over the DRS zone, past the straight, or through the straight, over the timing line, and Van der Hoeven even flies forwards. First right-hander, a little bit of a lock up there, into a left, into a right. It's a nice twisty sector 1, but it's pretty much flat out to, I believe, a left-hander hairpin coming up fairly shortly. Just here, nice late apex here by Van der Hoeven. Very nice, very nicely done. Long straight now before what I would technically call a chicane, if I remember correctly. No, left, right. And there's a left, right. Keeping it to the right-hand side because you want to get set up to another left-hander through the slowest part of the circuit. Very tight chicane. Moves can be done there, but it's not very likely. Onto the back straight, heading up to the final 3 corners. Hello, Connor. How are you doing, my guy? Good evening, sir. Good evening. Over the DRS line they go. And here's the left-hander. Another lock up again on the front left. Back over the time line to complete one lap here at Miami. Not a bad lap time at all after setting a 38.9. Absolutely rapid by Van der Hoeven tonight. I think it's going to take a lot for them to lose it. Connor says, I'm good, how are you? I'm very good. It's been a busy few days, to be honest. Trying to get the little man sorted with his bedroom, which is quite nice. Nice to do, but, you know, hard work. And he's not been settling very well at the minute as well, which is a bit of a shame. But never mind. And that is the end of free practice. We've got Bruce, who is in P4. We'll be calling him Bruce. After a YouTube comment that he left. Bruce P, I believe it was. So we'll call him Bruce in P4. Butler is currently P2 in free practice. Possibly has a bit more pace in the tank. I believe that's Fabrice Lettermy up ahead in the green Formula 3. No, Fabrice Lettermy's in the black and silver. The blue and silver. Black and silver? Blue and silver. Purple and silver? Can't really tell. So who is in the green one? Not Mark Coulson. Mark Coulson's in a black and yellow and white. Very nice. Who is in the green? Is that Jay Skyring? Jay Skyring is coming to the pits, and that is Jay Skyring. So Jay Skyring's in the green and black livery this evening. There is a lovely race control. Beautiful machine. So Van der Hoeven, as I mentioned, only needs to finish P6 and above to take this championship, and quite frankly it's looking very likely, just based on that free practice session alone. It's just not quite enough drivers to fill out the field this evening. Only 8 participants, but at the end of the day the top 3 are as they stand in the table. So Butler and Skyring, and Fabrice Lettermy in P5. Looks like the field, well, apart from Bernardi and Deprat, and even Coulson, in fact, they might have a nice little close battle throughout the race. Bruce and Skyring might even have a nice little close battle there, only being 3 tenths difference. But the gap between P1 and P2 pre-quali is looking rather large. Molan chat says anything can happen. Come on, Butler and Skyring. Very true, anything can happen, but I'm not seeing it this evening. After watching that onboard of the flying lap from Hoeven in free practice, they are looking incredibly strong. But again, like you say, anything can happen. Van der Hoeven has a tendency to mess up in the race at some point, but will it be enough to keep them P6 and below? But we'll stay on board with Van der Hoeven for the out lap and the first flying lap of qualifying in the final round here of the P&L Formula 3 Championship Season 2. Bit of a lock-up there again. So again, the lock-ups are going to cost, like over the course of a 30-minute race, the lock-ups are definitely going to add up. Could do a stroll and put it into a pit wall. We could do a stroll. I doubt it. I think it'll be more of a connection with another car if Van der Hoeven's going to lose it. That's what usually happens. But again, who knows? Until we see the race begins, we won't know, as Van der Hoeven locks it up going into the final corner, which is going to affect his exit speed a little bit, but don't think it'll affect the lap time too much. As over the DRS line they go. And here we go to start a flying lap here at qualifying. Let's see how they do. T1's looking rather tidy. T2 flat, T3 flat. The car's looking nice and glued in. The steering wheel's nice and smooth, showing that he's quite calm. Very fluid. No sudden adjustments. Running wide to get the nice late apex here to get the run onto the back straight. Misses the apex slightly. Burridge says, let me for the win. Now that would really spice things up. If, well, to be fair, if Let Me got the win, then Van der Hoeven is guaranteed champion. So Butler or Skyring need to get race victory today to get the championship. Oh, that could be a track cut, you know. He was almost 4 wheels off the circuit, so we'll have to wait and see until we get over the time in line. Currently on a 1:11 lap, 1:12, 1:13 if you look at the steering wheel at the bottom of your screens. And it is a long lap, this one. A lot could go wrong as we go into the braking zone. We see the lockup multiple times, and again there is a slight lockup on both of the front tyres, mainly the left, as we come round the final left, right, over the DRS zone to complete the flying lap. Time in line just under the crypto board. And it's a 1:39.7. We know that they can be quicker. Butler moves ahead with a 39.2. Van der Hoeven in free practice did a 38. So Butler currently leading the way in qualifying. This is the, well, second to final run that these drivers are going to have. And Jay Skyring has currently done a 1:40.6. Now what the drivers don't really know is that in race format or race trim, how good the follow is through the twisty turny sections. Is the wash going to be too bad? Fabrice Lamy moves into P4. Bruce is yet to set a lap time as Coulson has had a moment, but Brucey P is yet to set a lap time, and so is the Pratt. Now these two drivers are fairly new to P&R, and it's lovely to have them. But both of them last week just got in the way of each other, and sadly it kind of ruined the race for both of them. But there is definitely some race pace, and the Pratt has let Jay Skyring through, who is here in the green and blue livery this evening. Whether Skyring has got any improvements, we'll have to wait and see. Gets the car stopped. A little bit of a lockup, but all of the drivers seem to be struggling with that left-hander. If they just break a couple of yards earlier, they can get back on the power sooner. As he comes over the timeline, we'll keep an eye on the board, and it is massive improvement, but it's no movement in change, no change in position, sorry. And the Pret takes P5 after running wide and letting Skyring through. So the Pret probably has a bit more in the tank. Van der Hoeven is on another flying lap, and Butler is set at 38.6. So the call has been answered here by Butler. And the top three are all within, well, close to a second. Well, they're within a second of each other if you go through the list. And Bernardi is P7. Coulson is yet set a lap time, and Coulson will not set a lap time, so Coulson will start at the back of the grid. Can the championship leader take pole position? They don't really need to. They just need to stay in the race, and they probably are fully aware of this as well. And Butler has pulled out, so Butler has got no gain in time, and that's the end of qualifying for Butler. Skyring is still out there, however. Van der Hoeven goes into the tricky left-hander braking zone. Let's see, again a front left lockup. If they do that through the race, half an hour of that is really going to kill that front left, and they're going to know about it, and they're going to lose a lot of time. But over the timing line they come, and there is an improvement, but not much. Van der Hoeven will lock out the front row currently until Jay Skyring comes over the timing line. Any improvements from Jay Skyring? Not really, sadly not. He's 1/10 slower. Brucey P, however, as Lemmy is P5, Depret is P6. Brucey P is looking a little bit off the time here. Yeah, look at that. No luck for Brucey P. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Butler will lead the way for the final round of the P&R Formula 3 Championship Season 2. Locked out the front row is our current championship leader, Van der Hoeven. Jay Skyring starts from P3. Brucey P, P4. Fabrice Letmy, P5. Deprep, P6. Bernardi, P7. And Mark Coulson was unable to set a lap time. So we'll technically start P8 because, you know, race control doesn't really exist. But that is your starting lineup for round 8, the final round here of the Formula 3 Championship. And we will keep an eye on our championship leader as the cars will head to the grid in just a moment. So what are your predictions, ladies and gentlemen? Whack them in the chat. Let me know your top 3 of today's race. Who do you think it's going to be? Who is going to be our top 3? And for some reason, again, I seem to be on the grid, which is rather annoying. Shouldn't be, but I am. Let's see if there's another TV camera that we can keep an eye on. That's much better. It's a nicer one. Who do you think are going to be your top 3? Let me know in chat. We've got 30 seconds left of the countdown. I think Race Control's ultimately going to win tonight. I think they got the better tyre management, the better car, better aero. I just think, you know, all round good stuff. And here comes the final 6 seconds, and we're still not... There we go. As we keep an eye on Van der Hoeven in P2, and away they go for the final round here of the Formula 3 Championship, and then go into P2, and Jay Skyring's got the inside line, pushing Van der Hoeven wide. And Van der Hoeven currently moves down, well, it's currently into P4 at the minute. Wrong one. That's the one I want. So currently leads Butler, Skyring, Brucey P and Van der Hoeven in P4. Butler, Bruce and Letterme, I'm calling Skyring and Hoeven come together first lap. That was, it's almost true, but to be fair, if the race finished right now, Van der Hoeven's champion. So unless the cars behind can do anything about it, Van der Hoeven does not need to win this race, and Van der Hoeven is pushed Dreiger completely off the road. What was that about? That was absolutely intentional. That was 100% intentional. That is not on. That is not on, sir. That's an in-race penalty if I've ever seen one before in my life. And I'm going to make it a serious one because those sort of actions are not welcome here at Pretty Ninja Racing. So it's going to be a serious penalty that I'm going to have to give. It's not a DQ, but it's definitely a stop and go. For deliberately punting off another driver. That I've never seen anything so blatant before. I don't care if they were trying to bump draft or anything like that. That was just absolutely uncalled for. It's going to be a 30 seconds. It's sporting-like behaviour. Even if I report that to WSS, he would probably get suspension as well, because that's just not what WSS is all about. Salty, who destroyed my race. This person that we're watching right now, Van der Hoeven, we literally saw it on stream. Literally saw it on stream, and he's about to get a 30-second penalty. Stop and go. Just not acceptable behaviour. I've never, genuinely, in all the times that I have done 30-second stop and go, and we literally saw it on stream. They have a 30-second stop and go penalty. Driver, feel free to get back on if you can. Get the car repaired. Get back out there. Get driving. Just don't, you know, don't retaliate. Just get your race done. They may feel like a 30-second penalty is harsh, but that was just absolutely ridiculous. So blatant. If anyone wants to clip that as well, feel free. For someone that's been so clean this whole season, it was super strange. Just Skyring and Butler are battling out for P1 because they know whoever gets the race win gets the championship. So these two will be racing to the end here. You're waiting 385 seconds. Can you just send me a Discord message in the general chat, please, Bruce? Just so I can report that to WSS, because they won't be impressed with that. It was just super unnecessary. It's 30 minutes of the race to go. Yeah, but Van der Hoeven is my friend. Really? What sort of friend punts off another person like that? But we literally, if someone wants to just go back through the stream, clip it, post the link in chat for Bruce to see, please do, because it was just disgusting behaviour. I do not understand what they were trying to do there at all. Do not know what they were trying to do there. As Butler currently leads the way here with 24 minutes to go. We have seen something incredibly weird going on. Now, don't get me wrong, T1 I need to have a look at, because Jay Skyring does run Van der Hoeven off the road and it could be penalty worthy, and we'll have to look at that after the stream. It could be penalty worthy because it didn't look like Skyring was going for the corner whatsoever. So, you know, there is complete fairness and impartiality through any of these people. I don't mind if they're, you know, I don't care if they're a server admin, if they're a shinobi. I treat everyone exactly the same in these races. It doesn't matter what your behavior is. I have certain rules and guidelines, and if you break them, you break them. End of story. Van der Hoeven does have a 30-second stop and go penalty. To be fair to him, though, it doesn't look like it's going to cause too much of a problem. The Pret is currently 10 seconds away from Van der Hoeven in P3. So Van der Hoeven will end up in P7. No, that's absolutely fine. But honestly, Bruce, honestly, after reading that comment, fair enough. But genuinely, he made no attempt to get by you. He just drove into the back of you and pushed you off the circuit. There was no attempt to get by you at all, like cleanly. None. He just pushed you out of the way. And you didn't... Oh, someone... Is that Skyring? Where's Skyring? Oh, wait, who was I looking at then? Someone definitely hit a wall. This is what happens when everyone's got the same skin. It might have been Coulson, maybe, but Coulson has currently got Fabrice Lamy breathing down the back of his neck. And Fabrice Lamy is just about within DRS range. Van der Hoeven has still got the 30-second stop and go penalty, and I don't think they've taken it either. Now Fabrice Lamy will be closing down Mark Olsen rapidly. But not able to do anything about it right now. At the end of the day, if people join midway through a championship, they don't need to worry about ruining the championship. They make it more interesting. The more drivers, the better. In my opinion, the more competition there is, the better it is, you know? You got a brilliant start today, Bruce, and I can't believe you're now 4 laps down because of, in a polite way, a silly, just really silly. But Van der Hoeven has still not taken the 30-second stop and go penalty. Disqualified for not taking the stop and go penalty, so Van der Hoeven has been DQ'd after not stopping for the stop and go. And they will finish last, which means that the championship is now between Butler and Skyring. I cannot believe this. And Jay Skyring has had a bit of a moment as well, so that means Butler currently is leading the way. And Van der Hoeven will be going into the pit lane. But again, if someone please could just go back through the stream, clip it. So then if any, you know, altercations will say, oh, you're completely biased. I'm sorry, what we saw on stream was absolutely unnecessary. It was disgusting behaviour. But I do need someone to go back through the stream and clip it for me, please. The weirdest end to a championship. It is, as Skyring runs a little bit wide, struggling here with his tyres, I believe. But Van der Hoeven's been DQ'd. But I do need someone to seriously go back through the stream and clip it, please. As Van der Hoeven runs really wide, and I think they're going to go over the timing line here, and they're just going to be teleported straight back to pits. So clearly they've not seen their race penalty notifications, and you'll see them, there you go, disqualified for not taking a 30-second stop and go. Van der Hoeven is disconnected from the server. Oh dear me. Mark Olsen P5 currently chasing down Fabrice Lemy, who has gone off in fact, so now he's 4 seconds down, now he's P6. But Bruce, when you can, just get yourself back out there. Bruce is back on track, everyone, so that's great. Great news. And Fabrice Lemy's got a drive through for DRS. So Lemy accidentally hit DRS button. And away they go through pit road. But it's great to see Brucey back on track after completing 1/4 of the circuit before being taken off. Just completely unnecessary. Thank you very much, Connor. That is genuinely, apart from the Jay Skyring PNTCC incident between Butler and Jay Skyring, that was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. It was almost as if Van der Hoeven wasn't concentrating or wasn't looking forwards. It was very, very bizarre. Oh, well done, Bruce. Keep going, keep going. Right, Butler is leading the way now, 10 seconds ahead of Jay Skyring. So currently, these two are on their way to one of them being the championship winner. Fabrice Lemy is currently going down pit road, serving his drive-through for DRS. Mark Olsen and Bernardi have gone forwards, and it sounds like Mark Olsen or someone, and Fabrice Lemy's drive-through's been taken, but someone is not having the best of times there at T1. So Bernardi P4. Depret is P3. And who was someone's prediction earlier? Someone's prediction earlier, I believe it was Mole's, was that it was going to be Butler, Bruce, and then Letterme for the top 3. Currently, you're quite off. And everyone seems to be really struggling through that slow section of the chicane. But yeah, this is kind of what happened in the PNTCC, you know, like it was really nicely laid out. There was going to be a great battle between, well, in this instance, it was going to be a 3-way battle between Butler, Skyring, and Van der Hoeven. And then one of them does something stupid like that. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. If they've had a bad day, I'm really sorry that you've had a bad day and you were hoping to have a nice relaxing evening of sim racing in a championship that, quite frankly, they have been an absolutely brilliant example of a clean, fast-paced sim racer. But I don't know what has happened tonight for Van der Hoeven. It was just very, very odd. And I feel like it's taken a little bit of the sparkle off the championship. Again, second championship in a row where I feel like the sparkle's been taken off it. It's a bit annoying. It's a shame. It's a shame. As Brucey P has just set their personal best of the race so far, which I'm not surprised because he's only done 2 laps in the politest way. So Butler is leading the way. And quite frankly, is now sitting P1 on the championship unless something drastic happens for Jay Skyring to get back involved. But Jay Skyring is currently, we've got on the steward notes, lap 1 T1 because of an incident with Van der Hoeven. Whether they were kind of forced off track, whether it was just a bit unsportsmanlike and we should give a warning. Either way, it needs to be looked at. Never want to see it end. Mole in chat, sorry, says you never want to see it end in a crash/DQ. Everyone puts in so much effort through the 8 weeks. Indeed, they do. You know, and in the nicest way, it's also the amount of hours that I put in personally to do these events. You know, to actually come up with them. What's the track layouts? What's the car layouts? As Bernardi moves up into P4. You know, I'm literally just sat here in my shed commentating on this. Or commentating is quite not necessarily the right terminology because I'm not really commentating right now. I'm ranting away. And Coulson's moved back to P4. So are we missing a good battle here? Yes, we are. We're missing a good battle here for P4. So let's get back into the racing. Bernardi currently chasing down the South African and Mark Coulson for P4. I'm not quite sure what this would do in the championship. Might have a quick look actually. What's there? Driving along. Let's have a wee look. Will it do anything? In fact, yes it will. Okay, this is actually a championship battle being taken place right now. This is the battle for P5 in the champion. Oh no, not P5. P6 in the championship right now. And it's also a battle for P4 on track. At the moment, the difference between Mark Coulson and Bernardi on points in the championship is nil. Is nil point, nothing. They have 74 points apiece. So whoever finishes in front of who here will also get the championship spot. And to be fair, Butler has just set the fastest lap of the race with 140.4. 13 minutes remaining here at Miami. And it currently seems like Bernardi is struggling to get the effectiveness of the DRS against Mark Coulson, but we'll wait and see until we get back to the DRS zone again. The gap is just under 1 second, and there is the DRS marker, I think. I think that was it. I could be wrong. But either way, still within a second. A bit shallow going into this corner, which makes it quite awkward to get the power on. Nah, it couldn't have been the DRS zone marker, but here is the DRS zone. Now what can Bernardi get done? Take the shortest line possible, clean air, and well, now going into slip, but not able to quite get much done, but has got the gap down to 3 tenths. Bernardi currently, oh, Mark Coulson rode the curb, which has unsettled the car, but Mark Coulson seems to have got away with that. And Bernardi and Mark Coulson battling away here as Jay Skyring just has a 140.6, so 4 tenths off the fastest lap of the race so far. Bernardi seems to be going for clean air over slip. And back in the DRS range they go. Just looks like Coulson's got the cleaner corner exits at the minute, which is what's quite important. And Mark Coulson also locks up. 8 tenths is the gap now. Can Bernardi keep up? DRS is certainly helping. That's the personal best of the race so far for Bernardi. And Fabrice Lettermy, after the drive-through, is 8 seconds off the back, and there you go, Brucey P with a 141.7. So Brucey P would have been right up there this evening if they weren't taken out. And the gap, Coulson has done a brilliant sector 1, because Bernardi's going to be out of the DRS range now, and hopefully they won't use it. They won't, that's good. But the fact that they're out of the DRS range is going to be absolutely great for Mark Coulson. But Bernardi's got a lot of work to do here. Maybe their car's not quite set up for corners, or they're just not feeling too confident with the setup itself. Yeah, it's just looking like it's going in a little bit, or they, sorry, it could be a lady, but they don't seem to. Just goes over, and they got DRS apparently, no penalties. So Bernardi's done well there to get back in the DRS zone, but it just seemed to be a little bit shallow going into the corners. Looking down the inside, and that's a very opportunistic maneuver there by Bernardi, and Mark Coulson completely taken out. And that was very opportunistic. What is it with the driving standards tonight? That move was not on at all. Oh, Mark Coulson's got a drive-through for speeding. I'm going to cancel that one. Hopefully. Don't know. But Bernardi, again, what lap is that? Lap 11. But it does look, at the moment, I mean, that's Bernardi all day, unfortunately, is it? Okay. That's a shame. Again, it was just super opportunistic, but one driver that is now back in the frame is Fabrice Lettermy. And Coulson's managed to get back out. He's gone for the soft tyre here, which is quite opportunistic. He needs to, well, depending on the penalty for Bernardi, I mean, I could give him the time difference between him and Coulson at the end of the day, if it is that bad. I could be that horrible. But at the end of the day, that just seemed like a bit of a very opportunistic lunge. I mean, what I could do, in fact, actually, which would bring them back closer together. Maybe not 30 seconds because it wasn't so like deliberate. He was going for a move, but a definite 10-second or 15-second stop and go would definitely be the way to do it. So a 15-second stop and go. I'm not, you know, I'm not holding back my punches tonight. But he's got a 15-second stop and go from race direction now for causing a collision. I don't think it will because it looks like Coulson has had a moment. So Mark Coulson's actually quite a lot behind Fabrice Lettermy as Bernardi goes into the pit road for their stop and go. I don't think it's going to fully fix it because Mark Coulson may have had it looks like he's had a moment outside of, he's just doing a drive-through. It's a stop and go. It's not completed. You've got to stop. It should stay stop and go. He took another drive through. I think it just said, oh, right, okay. Righto. As Butler just leads the way here with 4 minutes left to go. Jay Skyring's 13 seconds to Pret, 37 seconds behind Jay Skyring. And Skyring's just set a personal best of the race so far. But Bernardi still hasn't taken their stop and go penalty. So they're probably going to feel a little bit bereaved, but at the end of the day, it's just unclean racing. Went for a gap, never existed, and they clearly don't know the PNR rules, which I need to rewrite really for the new championship. So we'll probably have a few week break before another championship comes up. It won't be straight away. I think a few drivers need to reassess a little bit as Butler comes round. 3 minutes 30 left on the clock, 2 laps left, and Coulson looks like they've got another incident and they've gone off the circuit. The soft tyres must be overheating somewhat, which is possibly what's happening for Mark Coulson. So the soft, in theory, should be the quicker tyre, but with the type of circuit that this is, could well be that they're overheating as Bernardi's gone back into pits and they have stopped. And the countdown, once the countdown, oh, they got to redo it, they moved. They got to be out of their pit box, and I don't think they know. Again, it's another WSS rule that it looks like someone doesn't know, which is a problem. But Bernardi is trying to serve it. Here we go. That might have done it, as long as they're not in their pit box. I'm not quite sure what they're doing there. I think they're going for their pit box. I think that's the problem. They think they need to do it in their pit box and they don't. And again, it's just another person that hasn't read the WSS rules and how real penalty works. I'll take it off. Still says pending, so sadly no, I think it's stuck there really. Don't think there's much gonna happen And Coulson has made their way back through, and Bernardi still in P6. Hopefully they figured it out. Let's see if it says that they've done their stop and go. They've been in pit road for quite some time, a lot longer. No, it hasn't. Can I cancel it? Because they've been in there for long enough. And no, I can't cancel the real penalty. Oh, there we go. Cleared by RO. There we go. Done. So they were in the pits for more than long enough. It is a bit stupid, but it's because it's a third-party app, and that's my only problem with AC. AC as a title is great, right? That's the problem with AC, because there's so many mods and there's so many like extra third-party elements to make this game as good as it is, that it doesn't all communicate very well. So when AC2 comes out, I'm hoping that all of these things. Oh, Banani's got a drive-through for cutting. Oh, god damn it. Now that I can't help, sadly. That's something in game that I can't change. You only had to finish 6th, Vanderhoven, but that's why. It was because, yeah, you can't do it in your pit box. You got to just do it in pit road. You just got to stop, or just drive to the end, stop, the counter starts, and then you can just go straight back out. And it is something on the WSS rulebook that you should read before you accept their licenses. As Butler is on the white flag, and Butler's going to come over the line here in P1 at Miami final round. P1 on track, and it's going to be P1 for the championship as well, much to my disappointment, not because Butler's won it, but because of the anticlimax of it all. Oh, and Bernardi's got a 60-second. It doesn't matter now, does it really? Skyrings are going to come over P2. Depret is going to get a P3 result at a minute. I don't know why you would risk it, but we were literally on stream when you punted another driver into a wall and they were stuck in the pits for 400 seconds. So it's the only option that I have. It's part of the PNR rules, it's part of the WSS rules. In theory, according to WSS rules, I should be reporting you to WSS. In theory. I don't want to, because you've been absolutely stellar throughout this whole championship. I just don't understand what happened with that lap 1 incident. Depret comes over, takes P3. Great drive for Depret. And Fabrice Lettermy. Oh, I thought they were actually in a race then for P4. Fabrice Lettermy comes over at P4. Mark Coulson, P5. Bernardi, sadly, has got a 60-second penalty after a track cut. But it's kind of taken the sparkle off the championship victory for Butler here. Tonight's round, it's just like the PNTC over again, where it makes me wonder, why the hell do I bloody do this? And if you wanted to see the clip, Vanderhoven, I believe somewhere in chat just above it, there is a link posted by, I believe, Connor, the moderator. And I believe it's somewhere. And it's what we saw. And I've just got to go with the fair rules that I would do for everybody, regardless of who did it. But Butler is the Formula 3 Round 8 winner. And someone's still absolutely blitzing around the circuit here. Now, technically, if Butler goes over the timing line one more time, I need to give him a 60-second penalty. Technically, for safety reasons. Because that's what happened in the Formula Women's race, and if I'm going by the FIA, technically, if he goes over that timing line, he's safe. He's... Oh. And he's about to do it. Oh my god, he hasn't done it yet. He hasn't done it yet. He hasn't done it yet. He needs to not cross over that white line. He needs to not cross over that white line. Just teleport back to pits, for God's sake, man. Otherwise, I'm going to have to give a 60-second time penalty, and that goes for Sky. They both done it. Okay, right. Fucking hell. Jesus. Oh, man. Oh, dear. Right. Ah, Christ. Right, you can see the annoyance written across my face. Because another final round has not gone to the way that I was hoping that it would go. But we'll take a look at the championship standings one more time. It hasn't updated yet. Okay, we'll give it a minute. Oh dear. Whilst we're waiting, there is one more round of the Ultimate Sim Racer left. Let me quickly go to the right page. And we are heading to Sebring in the GT1 class. We already have our Ultimate Sim Racing champion in the form of Butler. But the battle for P2 and P3 is not over yet. So you can find the pathways for this one in the Discord. Everyone's more than welcome to join in. It doesn't matter whether you've been in it rounds before or not. It's designed to test your mettle, really, and to test your skill. That is the whole point in it. And as you can see, we've had quite a few participants, but people have backed out early. So again, it's one of those championships where, you know, all you have to do is be in it to win it. Now let's check the standings now, and it has updated. So let's go to that screen. Butler is the championship winner for the Formula 3 Championship Season 2. Jay Skyring is in P2 with 164, and Van der Hoven is P3 with 152. Fabrice Lemy seals the deal in P4 with 126. Koba, who only did 4 events, is in P5. Only started 4 events and finished P5. If they did the rest of the championship series, it could have been a 4-way battle for the championship. They were so good in the first half of the season. I don't know why they didn't continue. Mark Coulson gets P6 ahead of Bernardi after the strange incident. In fact, it's joint P5, sorry, for Mark Coulson with 92 points with Koba. But Koba gets P5 purely on podiums and victories. Sport gets P8 with 79. Mayor gets P9 with 62. And Sobek rounds off the top 10 with 51 points. Again, it's one of those series where if you just start from the beginning, you're pretty much guaranteed to finish well in these championships. Now, as I mentioned, there is going to be a little bit of wait time before any more series from PNR. I do hope that you have enjoyed them and you've enjoyed the streams. If you have, please leave a like and subscribe if you could. That'd be rather wonderful. Tomorrow is the Ultimate Sim Racer, which will be streamed live at 8:30 tomorrow night. After that, we'll be holding off for maybe a week or two before we do any more championships. One, because I just need to find the, excuse my French, the fucks to give to do these events in the politest way possible. And we are also fairly close to finishing off our own website to host some AMS2 events going forwards, which is where the PNTCC is moving to for at least a season. We're going to give it a go. So if you don't have AMS2, I suggest you try and find and pick it up, because it is genuinely a fantastic sim racing title. It's a little bit on the arcadey side, but the racing is always decent on there, and we have figured out how to make our servers a little bit more stable thanks to the brain power of Fabrice Lemy. Now, before we disappear, we've already done the Bernardi incident. We just need to double check in the rules of fairness the T1 incident with Jay Skyring and whoever was on the outside. I believe it was Van der Hoven who was a little bit pushed out wide, but we will see. We will see. So let me just change the car. Here is Jay Skyring. Let me change to the standings so we get a little bit of music. Where is... So we're now +5 fast forward. So when we get to a minute, here we go. And off we pop. Let's just watch it real time. So Van der Hoeven's there on the left. Jay Skyring gets a very good start, which in the nicest way is not like him. Goes deep and does lock up, in all fairness. And you can see the skid marks that have been left from Jay Skyring's car because AC2 replays remembers stuff. And that's why, to be fair, they're both lucky that it wasn't any worse than that. But Butler got a bit of a spring onto that. Now, luckily, no one died in that event. Van der Hoeven did get pushed out wide due to a lockup. Is it time penalty worthy, though? Right, in the sake of fairness, I'm going to give a 5-second penalty to... is it? No, is it? I feel like it's not. And it's not fair because it's just a lockup. And it's not like a massive punt. It's not like the Bernardi incident. It's just that it's lap 1, T1 things that are going on. Nah, I don't think it is. Van der Hoeven posted something about the collision. No pen. I feel like it is a racing incident. I don't feel like it's got any malicious in it. It's just a lockup. Late on the brakes. Everyone's locking up, in all fairness. Oh, that's a horrible bump for Van der Hoeven. Did everyone see that then? What's that about? That's the texture's just not settled in. But what we'll do, we will watch Van der Hoeven and we'll just watch from another chase cam. In race I gave a 30-second stop and go, which didn't get served correctly. Like, what's there even more to see? In the politest way, there is all of this circuit that Van der Hoeven could have gone on. Let's have a little look. Let's have a little look at what they've captured. Yeah, it's a bit framey. So that's lap 1. Where is the actual incident? Here it is. Yeah, it's not the most... Oh wow, what the hell is that? That is some weird ass stuff. That is some very, very weird stuff. That is a dodgy broadband. It disappeared through the floor, but, and here is going to be my counter argument, the shadow of the car is still there. The car is still there on his radar. Right? At this point here, the car is still there on his radar. The shadow is still there on his radar. At this point, the cars are now intertwined. Still, shadow's still there on the track, still there on his radar. The game clearly thinks that Brucey P is there. Right? That's the only thing that I can see. Bruce went undercover. Well, according to my connection, nothing happened to Brucey P. It's just like gone over. Now, if it's a personal connection issue, I can't help that. It's terribly bad luck, granted. But if you see a car on your radar, whether it's in front of you or behind you, surely, like, I don't know whether it's just me and my, I don't know, close to it's over a decade's worth of sim racing experience, I can only report on what I can see. I can only report on what I can see. And right here, this put Brucey P in the pits for 400 seconds. Right? And there was no attempt to move out the way. If a car disappears from screen, literally, like, tell me if I'm wrong, everyone in chat, would you just still take the same line? Would you think, fuck, something's odd's going on, I'm going to take a different line? Is it just me, or is it just because I've got over 10 years worth of sim racing experience? I don't know. I could only penalise on what I saw directly on stream. I had Bruce literally come into chat saying, who's destroyed my race? Because it did. It destroyed his race. So a 30-second stop and go penalty is more than just, in my opinion, because it's what I could see and what I can do, and I can only steward on what I see real time. I just have to give it. It's definitely a client-side issue, and I can't help that. I gotta consider every single person on circuit. It wasn't a problem with Brucey P. It wasn't a problem with Jay. I mean, is Jay and everyone else still on the screen? No, so you can see, in fact, you can see ahead one of the cars, I think it's Skyring, flying off into the distance. It's like grease lightning over there. So keep an eye just here. I don't know how well you can see that. Can I make that full screen? I can. Okay. Right here. This car right here. Oh, no, they don't go into the air. It looks like for 1 second that they went into the air. But maybe it's because I'm looking at something over something else. But it looked like they were in the air from the freeze frame. But if the car's there and the shadow's there, and you think, fuck, he's gone through the floor, you wouldn't drive the same line. I wouldn't, personally. Anyway. So, yeah, I got to consider everyone on the circuit. Bruce, sadly, got wrecked. And I know it wasn't malicious. Yeah, in the nicest way. If I give you a penalty, just take it. I mean, there was an incident later on in the race between Bernardi and Mark Coulson, which this could be it, in fact. And I gave a stop and go 15-second penalty because it caused Mark Coulson to get a lot of damage and he had to go into the pits. Now, the problem with the real penalty app is that Bernardi first does a drive-through, which is a shame, and then the next lap around, they're constantly trying to find where to do the stop and go penalty. So if you have a stop and go, drive to the end of the pit road, stop, wait for the amount of time because the countdown timer will happen, and that will serve you a stop and go penalty. But in the end, I got rid of this penalty because Bernardi was, as you can see, technically serving a penalty. But it is a shame. It is a shame. It's not the way that I wanted the championship to end in any way, shape or form. I'm not very happy about it. But at the end of the day, I've got to consider everybody else on the track. but it was also on your radar. And the radar's slap bang in the middle of your screen. So, again, I don't know whether it's just me and my many years of sim racing experience. If that usually happens, the best course of action for future knowledge is just not follow that car again. Because guaranteed, they're not there anymore. There's no guarantee that they're going to ghost. There's no guarantee that they're going to do anything like that. You just got to, you know, next time, definitely just move off that line. Just think, shit, where has it gone? Because that car can just go pop up at any moment. Remove the disqualification. I think remove the disqualification for sure. Can we do that, Fabrice? Because it was clearly client side, but it also ruined the race. But it's not going to change the result. Ultimately, removing the DQ, that will help with the WSS like profile, won't it? It will help his profile, which is something else that I don't want to get affected. I don't want his profile to actually, you know. Can I remove the DQ? Total time 90 seconds. Cancel that. Disqualification. Cancel. Penalty's already cancelled, so nice. Okay. Let me. Yeah, so it's now gone down into DNF, so there won't be any disqualifications on Van der Hoeven's side, but in a politest way, if you do another PNR event, which I seriously hope you do because you're a solid sim racer, like genuinely, we were all absolutely surprised that happened on stream. Like, it was just completely like, where the hell is this come from? Like, I know that T1 was a bit rough with Skyring, but it wasn't worthy of punting someone off the circuit. Please do join in more PNR events because you're genuinely very, very welcome here, Van der Hoeven. Like, you are a solid sim racer. Solid sim racer. And I hope, and genuinely, if you do another one, depending on which, we are going to do an Indy Lights series in the near future. It'll be about a week or two away, so hang about. So we are going to do an IndyCar Lights on a Sunday night to replace a Formula 3. Okay? Get involved in that one because I can't wait to see you, Butler, and Skyring, and everyone else go hammer and tongs there for 6 rounds, because that's another thing that's happening with the PNR events. 8 weeks is a bit too long for me personally. I get bored. I don't know about you guys. So, you know, it's been an epic season. I'm just very annoyed in the politest way that it's the second season in a row which has ended with something like that. It's just so annoying. So annoying. And that's why we're trying to find a nice core group of people like yourself and everyone else that's part of the PNR community, which are incredible group of people, to join in our events going forwards, because it's going to be mega. It's going to be mega going forwards, especially when the PNR website is up and running. So yeah, make sure you join in the next one, Van der Hoeven. And if you've got AMS2, also get involved in those. I will show you guys very quickly what Fabrice Lemmy, who is in chat right now, so please give him all the plaudits because he's doing an amazing work with the PNR website progress. Let me just load this up. So this is what it looks like currently. The PNR website is not far away. We're currently trying to integrate the AMS2 system first because the AC system is an absolute headache, according to Fabrice Lemmy. So it's, you know, I don't want to put that sort of pressure on Fabrice Lemmy, but we will be doing some AMS2 events going forward. You can see that as a Copa B Test Cup in the near future. So we got a few things that are coming up and it looks really sick. You know, we're really proud of this. I want to change the background slightly because the light blue looks a little bit weird to me, but I will see what's what. And as you can see, currently the join and results functions don't work, but it's just going to be a very simple website to sign up. All you're going to need is an email address and your Steam ID. The only reason why we use your Steam ID is to whitelist you onto the servers, so we don't need to have passwords, and the people that register are the only ones that can actually join in. So it's all going to be very, very good stuff. But the website's not touch a fuckload of wood, not too far away. So until the website's sorted out, the events will kind of slow down a little bit, but just keep an eye on the Discord. I'll be pinging in messages all the time saying we're going to do this evening. Wednesday nights is usually our community nights as well, so make sure you all get involved in that one. But before all of that begins, we have the final round of the Ultimate Sim Racer, so get involved with that one. I believe there's only 5 sign-ups, and that's not enough, ladies and gentlemen. That is not enough. I want more. I want more people to die, effectively. That is the honest truth. Get signed up. Okay? So until tomorrow evening, look after yourselves. I hope you all have a brilliant Monday. I'm sorry that the Formula 3 Championship ended like this. It's annoyed me quite a lot, but it will improve over time. But until then, look after yourselves. Have a great Monday. And I look forward to seeing you for the final round of the Ultimate Sim Racer. See you later.